I wanted to do something special for the bass on this album. I wanted to use analog synths, so I used like old Roland Juno 6, also an Alpha Juno synth, which both of them are like either end of that awesome period of synth creation. But I know a lot of early jungle music used drum machines as bass, meaning that they take a long kick drum with a huge release tail. They turn that into a fat, punchy bass sound. I dusted off this old analog drum machine that I bought years ago, hardly ever used. It's called a music percussion computer, or MPC, made in England, and pre-MIDI. This thing was classic. It's built like a tank, and some of the low electronic toms, that almost really goosey late 70s, 80s Simmons, like doo-doo kind of sound. I made a keyboard instrument out of that. And that ended up being my go-to for the record, and I'm definitely going to be using that live. There is a reason why we keep squeezing new life out of old gear, because it's personality. It's alive with all of this beautiful sound quality that you forget is in there until you dust them off and plug them in, and man, it's like magic that goes into the record. Jungle music is all about the break. It's about the bass, it's about soul elements and jazz coming back. Yes, it's about all of these things. But the break is definitely the heart and soul of what jungle's about. The breaks essentially is a moment of time where a drummer was playing without the band, taken off the record, put into a sampler, cut up. You then give it another life. The energy and the relentlessness of the pace, 176 to 180 BPM going ballistic. And as a dancer, you're just losing yourself. As a live drummer, I heard this, I just wanted to play it. It was such a challenge because it was perfect, it was quantized, it was sequenced. And I tried to do that. To get that killer break sound, I had to wear both hats. I had to be my own producer and my own drummer. So I had to flip up all my normal techniques, approach the drum kit completely differently, approach miking the drum kit completely differently, and just try out a whole bunch of stuff until I got that sound. Gregory Coleman, not enough people know his name. He was the drummer who played the actual Amen break. This album's dedicated to him from one drummer to another, and I'm not using his break once. We can't just borrow everything from the past. We need to learn from it, listen to it, and then evolve it ourselves. In 20 years, I didn't feel like I had the album that I wanted to have, which captured my jungle style of drumming. So I feel like this is the one. Start of 2020 has been super weird. It's a strange thing to be in a studio by yourself making a record at this time. However, I've been celebrating, not taking my health or my life for granted, and just being here alone and having my own party and drumming as hard as I can, using all my power and spirit as a human, capturing these takes, and I hope it translates. I hope that it's photographed and printed on this record, and when people hear it, they can sense that. And I hope it gives them a spark and gives them inspiration to get the hell out of the house and start doing what they do in the world again, because we need that. Anyone that's made a record knows that your environment adds so much to the experience of the record and contributes to the listening experience. When I was making Solo Flight, I was doing it pretty much in the treetops, and there's all these birds everywhere flying around. I even tried to record this one sat right outside the window, just making these awesome synth drops, and I couldn't record it because every time I put a mic out there, it would go quiet, go shy. And then I'd start up the music again, give up, and it would start up again. And I realized it was actually singing along. The whole time, my kind of mascot for this album has been this beautiful lyrebird feather that my girlfriend gave to me. And lyrebird's like the OG sampler. It's the original synth. So I ended up using other bird sounds and mixing all in there with the synths. I literally felt like I was making the album with the birds, and yeah, it was pretty symbolic. I played a little bit of guitar, but my father plays guitar, and I did some recording of him. Really nice to have his energy into the records. All these elements sort of went in, and it was a really joyous experience, and that's what I wanted. I wanted this jungle music to sound fast and bassy and tough, but I want it to be a joyous vibe, not heavy and dark. Sticks in my hand now. I just can't wait. All these travel bans are lifted, and when the world opens its borders to each other again, we're going to need music, and we're going to need to be together. The only people that have really heard this record have been the birds outside, and thousands of them have been checking it out. I'm not sure if they're digging it, but I hope they are. I'm pretty itching to get out there and tour it around the world and play it to my own.